guys and girls, how are you doing out there on this beautiful, beautiful day? We're going to be talking about a few things today. We're going to be talking about, let's get a little closer over here. We're going to be talking about some self-defense. So we got to be close so they can feel the pain as we do this.
Your pain.
Your pain, my pain. So we're going to talk about some self-defense. And before we get started, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Instructor Terry Lee Ryan, and this is Instructor Don Weber. Don Weber. He's here to whip my butt a little bit, right? But we're going to be talking about a few different ideas about defense. I think the first three things that everybody wants to remember is the awareness, right? The awareness. So when we're talking about awareness, it's knowing the surroundings of what's going on in a defense situation. And the second thing is that verbal defense. So if I know if Mr. Don's the bad guy, and I'm standing here like this, I know there's somebody over here, right? That's the awareness, knowing. And he may have it, look at his grin. He's got an attitude. There's an attitude going on, right? So the next step is having that verbal approach. So if he comes up to me and he gets one step closer, that's my verbal defense. Hey, buddy, what's your problem? Right? Verbal defense. And of course, when he grabs, that's the physical defense. So I have to think what's next. So that's when it gets into the physical aspect of what happens in self-defense. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because we're going to show two defense techniques today. We're going to talk about one grabbing a wrist, kind of going this way, right? And the other one grabbing right about here as I do that, right? Kind of one of these motions here, right? So both of these self-defense techniques require two major ingredients. The first one is to understand technique as far as meridians, channels. So the first point that we're talking about today is going to be a meridian right about here on the arm. And it's called lung 10. It's a great point. You kind of tap into it. And the second point we're talking about is going to be right on the neck, underneath the chin line right here. And that's the technique for the first self-defense technique. So we may go there first. You want to do that, John?
Sure.
Now, don't knock me out. I've got to continue talking. It'll look bad on the camera, so let's do this. I'm going to grab his wrist just like this. Now think about this. Now, I'm not just grabbing him as being polite, but I'm going against him. I'm the attacker. He's the defender. So as I grab him like that, I mean business. The first thing he does, now watch, and I want to isolate that point. Go back to that point right there. There you go. Now when he hits that, that is going to take my body. My body's going to do this. It drops down. And then he's going to go right there to that point. That's what we want, underneath that area right there. Now that's enough, and I'm not joking when I say this. That's enough to take somebody down completely. There's a 99% chance that he'll probably be knocked out. So glad you didn't knock me out today, but 99% chance, okay? That's technique number one. Now, we'll do it a little bit faster, okay? So I'm the attacker. I grab him like this. I do that 1, 2. Now, notice what happens. It's just 1, 2, right to it. There's no time wasted. So the only thing you really need to practice here is that. That's really all he's doing. 1, 2. And it doesn't really take the physical aspect of how strong am I, right? Or am I muscles? No, it doesn't take that. It takes speed and angle and leverage and being calm about it too. You know, a lot of times when you're throwing a technique out there, if your brain is going too fast, your heart rate is going too fast, your breath is going too fast, you're not going to really be able to think the way you need to think to do those two self-defense techniques, okay? So let's talk about the second technique. And this is self-defense number 2. And this is, again, we're utilizing meridian. So I'm grabbing here. Now, this time, when I grab here, I'm actually taking a punch at this. I'm going to swing at him, right? So as I do this, I want to make sure that he needs to make sure that this is not going to come across. So what does he do? He steps in with the right leg, first thing. And then he presses downward. Now, look what happens here. My body, whatever this was going to do, it's not going to do now. Because all he's going to do from this point, this is already broken, is now he's going to send that palm strike straight to the face. Fist, and it could be a palm, knife hand, whatever you want. But this point right here is another meridian, okay? So he hit the first meridian, which the first one we used in the first self-defense technique, striking there. The body goes down, and all of a sudden, now we got another meridian here. This is a great meridian. It's actually called conception governing meridian, and it's in between both as I do this. So when I'm striking those meridians, it doesn't take a full force like straight through, right? You can only, if you want to go 2 inches past the point, that's all you need. It doesn't take a lot for meridians. It's that fast to knock somebody out, okay? So let's go through that one more time. So I'm grabbing here now. If I think about this, 1, 2, yeah. Now he can strike as he does that. He can strike on different points. He's used to hitting a lot of different meridians. But you can strike here, you can strike here, you can strike here, you can strike here, you can strike. There's so many different meridians. There's over 300 something points in the body that we can actually hit to. But what we want to do is we want to utilize some basic points, okay? So those are the two self-defense. I want y'all, if you have to, rewind this video, go back and check it out a few more times so you'll understand it better and better. Because it does take practice. It's not going to happen overnight, okay? Now, we're going to get into something else. Let's back up a little. We're going to do a form now. And this is one of the open form system forms. And we're going to let Mr. Don run through the form. Face this way so they can all see your lovely face, right? And step back to a fighting stance, right? So the first thing we're doing here is we're doing the basic motions for the first form, part one. So first thing he does, he kicks, front kick. So when he throws that leg out, now here comes the second technique. 2 is a palm strike. There we go. Palm strike. 3 is a cover. Good. 4 is a turn and lock. And then 5, palm strike. Now he's going to, there you go, here comes the wrestling kick. Now he's facing this way, turn this way now. And then he does inside palm strike, and then a straight palm. Good, now he's going to face this way, and finish him off with that turn palm. So do this one here, do that one there. There we go, turn palm. Nice. Okay. All right, now, the whole point behind this is to keep practicing over and over and over again. Now let me do it. You get to watch me now, all right? Okay. So, from here, first thing I'm doing is what? Front kick. Second thing is what? Palm strike. Third thing is cover. I didn't say block, I said cover. And then turn and lock. Right? And then 5, palm strike. 6, pressing kick. 7, inside palm, straight palm, and then turn. Okay? And all these motions, come on this way, Don. All these motions require, especially when you're online, to pay attention to each motion that's going on as you're doing it. Because if you're throwing a palm strike, well, pay attention to where that palm strike is going. If you're throwing a kick, pay attention to where that kick is going, right? So it kind of makes sense in the self-defense world, okay? So practice that, rewind it if you have to. Now, we're going to end with something on the Qi Kung, in the Tai Chi fashion. I want to make sure that we all understand how to do this because we've been doing this for a long time now, long time. So we're going to start with the basic stance, the Qi Kung. And the only difference today, we're going to do the 3 Bs, okay? So watch how this is going to work. The palms come up, nice and easy. Now, when it gets to chest level here, we're going to expand it out this way. This is brain. And then it comes like a circle, like the sunshine, and then down. And then it starts again. So it's breath. Breath comes in. Expand the brain. That means open those thoughts. Come around and pack that chi, which is to the body, right? Straight down. Let's do it one more time, just like that. That looks good, huh? So straight up, here comes the breath. Breath is coming in. He expands the mind, comes around, packs the chi. Packs the chi. What I mean by that is he's taking that breath and he's pulling the breath as far down as he can as he does that. Looking good, looking good. One more time. Breath comes in, expand the brain, comes around, packs the breath. Good. Now, this is something really important that I think Don and I want to relate to you. The more you do this, the better that mind is going to work to produce what you need to produce. Whatever you're doing in life in general, especially going through the COVID thing right now, that breath is really important. So we want to kind of pinpoint that even more so. Okay? That's going to be all we got for today because I know we got a busy day. We got to go back to bed or something. I don't know. Something's going on, but we got to get rolling again. We're looking forward to seeing everybody next week. Now, if you have to, be sure to rewind this video and practice as much as you can.
Practice.
Any other words you want to add to that?
No, just practice, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good.